Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, RV East Coast. We are back with an episode this week. It's been quite a while since we had an episode.
Yeah.
Like normal.
As you probably know already, I was overseas for a couple months, and that's why we haven't been posting much.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little bit of time until we come back to our regular, how should we call it, quality levels, because putting these videos take a lot of time, and for now we're making a couple videos that we can put out really quick, like this one.
Yeah, because you've only been home for a week.
Yeah.
So, and we had a lot to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned to the end because we have an exciting announcement about t-shirts. We are going to try to release a campaign this week so that you can get some gear maybe in time for the holidays, some cool hoodies or long sleeve shirts.
Yeah, we have been getting so many requests about it, so
yeah,
we're gonna
relaunch it. Our goal is this week, so stay tuned to the end.
What are we talking about today?
All right, so today we're talking about the topic of campground etiquette, but we're talking about it not from a camper's perspective, but from a campground owner's perspective. So kind of maybe 10, 11 things that campground owners don't like.
Yeah, as you can imagine, one of the benefits of this channel for us is that we get to know and interact with a lot of managers and campground owners. So we get to hear from them and learn a little bit about what things we do sometimes that are not very well received by them, right? Mm-hmm. So, sorry, this is not a complaining session for RVers. This is a complaining session for owners, right?
Right.
So, should we get started?
Let's get started.
All right.
All right, so number one, the fire pit is not a trash can.
That one is pretty easy to understand, right?
Right, like diapers, cans, bottles, don't put them in your fire.
Yeah.
And if you do, or your kids do, just take it out.
Yeah. When you leave, the next person is not going to come right away to use a fire pit. Someone is going to have to come and clean after you and get the campsite ready for the next guest. So just be a little bit mindful of the employees.
Yep. Number two, don't complain about things that are out of the campground's control.
All right. Can we unpack that one?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's kind of life in general, but complaining to the campground owner about somebody walking through your yard or your site, or you're driving too fast, like that's a little out of their control. I mean, you know, you could maybe mention things like that if you see a person.
Yeah, if you're going to complain about something, just bring a complaint that is valid. Just don't complain about everything. This camping is not a 5-star hotel. I mean, they already make it easy enough for us glampers. Something that I think we should do too is that sometimes it's not about the complaint, but it's about the way you bring the complaint to the management. I'll give you an example. It's very different if you come to the manager and say, people drive too fast around here and blah, 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 blah. My kids are in danger. Yeah, that is, I feel frustrated with that too, but it's different if you try to help. And if you come to the manager and say, hey, around 4:30, black SUV drove by really fast. Here's the license plate. I believe they're on site number 14. That way you're giving them an action that they can take. It's just not an empty complaint that is not going to go anywhere.
All right. Number 3, if you are running late on checkout day, let the campground know, or if you know you're notoriously late, ask for a late checkout in advance.
Yeah, just that one also makes a lot of sense, right? It's a business, and they need to be ready for the next guest. So,
right.
Just
be courteous of their time, and try to plan in advance.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4, complaints about the visitor's fee. So I think
we never complain about that, right?
A time or two about a visitor's fee, not to the campground, just to you.
Yeah. I understand it's frustrating. I have been frustrated about it, especially when your friends are coming over just maybe for an hour or so.
Yeah.
And then you get charged with the whole day fee. But what I can tell you, to be a little bit of an advocate for the campground owners and managers, is keep in mind that there are a few expenses that that you don't think of all the time. For instance, the more people that come to use the pool, more chemicals they have to put on it, or maybe insurance. Every person that comes to the campground is a liability for the campground, so those are other expenses that you don't think about all the time, but they have to incur.
Yeah. All right, number 5 is paying the requested fee. So I guess on this one you kind of mean like people kind of always asking for discounts or...
Yeah, I have heard from many campground managers that it's more common than you would think, people asking for a discount or maybe complaining so they get a free stay or a free night. So yeah, we all like to camp for free, we all like discounts, but if you have the money,
it's a business, right? Right.
Or just go to a cheaper campground. If you don't have the budget to go to the campground that you would like to go, sometimes it's okay to go to a state park or to a campground that is a little bit of a less of a glamping experience.
What? Less glamping?
You don't like that? You would rather stay home?
All right, the next one is low music levels, or, well, obnoxious parties, like music too loud, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the music level on your site should be at the level that you like it and that you can enjoy it for your site, not for the neighbors.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is sometimes hard when your sites are really close together, but just trying to be respectful of one another. A lot of times there's a lot of families at the campground, and I know it's really frustrating when at 10 o'clock I am desperately trying to get my kids to sleep and it's loud outside, or
Yeah. And sometimes people just, of course, there's always someone that pushes things to the limit. Just a couple months ago, we were camping somewhere in central Pennsylvania, and at night I noticed that they were playing live music. It didn't really bother me, because it was actually not bad music, and they didn't stay too late. But the next day I learned from the manager that they brought a live band to their site and they were having a party, and they didn't even ask the campground about it. So come on, that's common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this one, dog poop. I mean, this should be a no-brainer, but you wouldn't believe how many owners go out and leave dog poop on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it's disrespectful to the other people that are there, and it's disrespectful to the owners who have to spend a lot of time picking up dog poop.
Have you seen that t-shirt that says the campground is the only place where you can walk around in your pajamas with a poop bag in your hand and still strike a conversation with someone? I think that's a pretty cool t-shirt. I'm gonna get you one of those from Mother's Day.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. We talked about this briefly about like speeding through the campground. So yeah, respect the speed limit. Slow down. Most campgrounds it's 5 miles per hour. Kids are running around. Dogs are running around.
Yeah, I personally, that's one of the things that really bother me when people drive really fast. It's like, campground should be a safe place.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember once we were at a campground in Ohio. My sister, who was never at a campground before, came driving to our site. 3 minutes later, the manager came and said, "All right, who was the speed demon that was driving by?" That was a terrible joke, so it's not gonna make it to the video probably. Actually, I edit the video, so it's gonna go.
She probably doesn't watch our stuff. It's okay. All right. Respect the trees. I think, we all want to make our sites comfortable, hang our hammocks and stuff like that, put up our lights. But respecting the trees and nature
You shouldn't be
is really
screwing
important.
things into the tree,
Right.
Like hooks and stuff.
Right.
And one more thing that we actually heard of is that of people that park their RV and maybe they want to bring the slide out, and there is a branch or something, and they just go and cut the branch. You can get in trouble in many campgrounds for doing that, and it's just you're not being a nice citizen of the world. So be respectful and mindful of that.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting towards the end. We have make sure your hose has a rubber ring. And I'm guessing that's because, like, if water is leaking, it's very wasteful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we have been at so many campgrounds where we see an RV leaking water through the entire week or the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And although the campground should be in top of their maintenance and have someone paying attention to that, but it's just wasting water.
Right.
And
And it also leaves the site really soggy.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, yeah.
So.
Okay. Be mindful of the cleaning staff when using the bathhouses.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you go to any campground at the end of a busy weekend, you're gonna see the bathhouses in really bad shape. And I have heard from campground owners of really horrible things that I'm not gonna get into, that people leave inside the showers when they leave. So just come on.
All right, and I think this is the last one that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Do not leave your fire unattended. So that's not only a safety issue, but it's also a liability for the campground.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you have a fire and you are walking away from it, going somewhere, going to bed, make sure that it's out.
Yeah. I have been guilty of leaving my fire unattended a few times, but I've been trying to get better at it. So that's what we have for now. We would like to hear from you. What have you heard from campground owners that they don't like? Or maybe things that you think that we all, as an RVing community, could improve.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I think it's good to have a conversation and not like a, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that it's good to have conversation about these things and how we can improve and how we can respect the campground, and the campgrounds can help the patrons.
Yeah, and I think also, lastly, I think it's also good timing to make this kind of videos because we have so many new RVers
people,
joining our community this year. That it's good for you to hear these things if you are a new
because
owner.
the first time we camped, I didn't know that walking through another person's site was a no-no.
Yeah.
Me and the kids were cutting corners across some sites to get to the pool, and we got yelled at. And when I told you, somebody yelled at me, you were like, "Oh, you don't do that."
Yeah.
And I had no idea, so I learned quickly.
Something, if you're a new RVer and you didn't know this is the way you should think about it. When you are paying for an RV site, it's like you're paying rent. Therefore, that's your home for the weekend, and you don't expect someone to walk through your front lawn, and this just not cool.
Now I know. So okay, so just real quick, we're gonna put the link below for the t-shirts, and we'll try to announce it. I think that we can add a few things for merchandise on the list, so we might offer something more than t-shirts. Don't hold me to that, but I'm gonna try.
Department. I'm just a hat model.
So this campaign, though, we're only gonna have it open for 2 weeks because we know that Christmas is coming, and our hope is that we can close it in the early December. So if you ordered anything for a gift, that you have it in time. So that's the goal. So it's only going to be open for 2 weeks. I know last time we had it open for 3, so it's going to be a little shorter this time. But we'll put the link in the bottom, and then if you're not part of our Facebook group, be part of our Facebook group, so that we can kind of keep you updated with how things are going.
Our Facebook group is a cool community. Come and have fun with us.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for this week. I'm Fawn. Eli here. And this is our Beast Cast.
All right. We'll see you later.